Today, let's talk about toxic friendships and how intuitive people, if we're not aware, can be a magnet for them. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you how to spot the signs of a low-level friendship and what are some of the different things that you can do to not only improve your relationships, but better trust your intuition. Toxic friendships. This can be a plague to intuitive people. I've seen it in my own life. I have seen it in the lives of my clients. I have seen it out in the world very much. And what I'll say is that what I find to be true is that oftentimes intuitive people are incredibly compassionate, empathic. They are very giving. They are very accepting and curious. They are healers. They, in their core, want to help. And these are part of our gifts. This is some of our magic, our sensitivity to the world. But if it's not protected and paid attention to, that beautiful set of gifts can also become our Achilles heel. And the other thing about intuitive people is often they're really good at being responsible and taking responsibility in relationships. But before I go any further, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a fourth generation intuitive, and I teach you how to plug back into your innate divine self, your intuition. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so grateful to have you. Don't forget to hit subscribe and that little bell notification. I release new videos every single week to help you become your best, highest self. So let's get back to the subject at hand, toxic friendships. Now, when I look back on my own life, for a long time, I had a best friend when I was young who was a toxic friend. Every single time we would do things together, she would end up competing with me for boys, for school, for anything. At one point, there was a boy that liked me, and this was way, way, way back in the day. And she actually ended up secretly dating that person. Toxic, boo, ugh. But I remained her friend for a very long time. And there were a few reasons for that. One, I saw her spirit. She was kind, funny, she was super smart, she had a lot of wonderful things about her, but she never wanted me to be never wanted me to succeed as much. She always wanted to keep me just a little bit lower. And so for years, we were really close until all of a sudden, I realized that my intuitive self, my nurturing, compassionate, sensitive self, didn't necessarily correspond to a confident self. That my own inner child and my own other places, my own wounds, permitted this bad behavior through the guise of being loving, through the guise of being caring. And I was trying to be loving and caring, but at the same time, that care and love that I showed in that relationship wasn't reflected back to me. So when I finally realized this, I didn't have to make a big how to do of we have to end this relationship, but I just slowly backed away, which was okay because in the moment of that life, our lives were sort of diverging. But it was a good reminder that, first of all, as intuitive, sensitive people, we have to ask ourselves, one, are the people that we're with, do they lift you up or bring you down? Do they support and champion you, or do they poo-poo on your dreams? Can you talk to them about the things that are important to your heart space, to your needs, to what you care about, or not? Can you be direct with them? Can you give them direct feedback if somebody hurts your feelings? And are you confident enough to be truthful? What I found in my last relationship that was pretty toxic is that every time that there was bad behavior, what I did, instead of saying hey, that hurt my feelings, I explained it away through being loving. Oh, I can understand. And what happens so often with intuitive people is that we can see people's spirit, but instead of being grounded in reality of what is true from their actions, how they conduct themselves in the day-to-day manner, we look to who they could be. We look to what they could achieve or whatever. And that doesn't allow us to be grounded in reality. And there's a certain part for ourselves where first you have to say, am I treating myself with as much love and care as I'm treating other people? Good question. And also, have I romanticized good experiences that we've had and confused that for somebody who is at the same level as me? You know, like I was saying, people who are intuitive often do a lot of their own self-work, and they are incredibly responsible, sometimes more responsible than they need to be. And so for me in this relationship, it was like, well, you know, maybe I'm not X, Y, or Z, when in reality, it wasn't about me at all. And so for there, even check in with yourself. One, you know about yourself, you know who you are to be true by the actions that you take. It's like a catcher's mitt between yourself and life. So whatever comes in, you know, let's say you have a friend who constantly downloads on you and leaves you with a bad vibe. And you know, you always feel drained when you're with them. And maybe they might even say unkind things unconsciously and try and help. Oh, your hair looks bad today. You should go fix it. Or that's not really a good color on you. You know, just these little swipes. And maybe they even, let's say you're starting to have some boundaries, right? My favorite word. And just saying like, hey, that doesn't feel good. Or actually, I'm not available for your phone call. And maybe they might say, you're a bad friend. Now you have to ask yourself, through my actions, through the decisions that I've made in my life, is that true? Is that true? Because it takes the power away from other people, from what can come in, especially if we haven't built that strong sense of self, those things that can come into our core and say, you know, that isn't true. I know by how I conduct myself in the world, what is true about me. So if you're in a toxic friendship, which is one that, like I said, can't talk, can't be honest, can't give feedback, can't grow, leaves you feeling drained, puts you down, talks about things that aren't really in alignment with you, talks about gossips a lot, right? Puts down other people. Toxic friendships also can be slights of people who don't want you to succeed as much as them. They get jealous, competitive. You know, we can love their spirit. But again, we have to be grounded in reality and trust our own vibes and our experience enough to make decisions to not get stuck in those same patterns. And so here are some of the things that we can do. One, be direct. It's our voice, is our truth. And so giving direct feedback around what works and what doesn't work for us. It hurts my feelings when you say that, you know, and speaking from an open heart. You know, second of all, you can even have a moment of just saying, you know, these are the things of where I've grown, these are the things that I need. And we can be brave to end relationships that aren't good for us. Because every time that you say that this vibration isn't a match, and I trust myself in the universe that I can step into a new paradigm, into a new place, you up-level your vibration. And you have to say, is this worthy for me? Is this as good as it gets? Are these relationships as good as it gets? Is this really true? Or am I stuck in old story because it's more comfortable than being available to somebody who's a match? Am I so afraid of being alone that I'll tolerate bad behavior, narcissistic behavior, bad vibes, bad friends, because that company is good enough? Because it's not. You're 100% worth more. So go through your relationships. Does this feed me? Is this a fit? Do I like this? Am I stuck? Do I want more? And then make decisions centered in that and look and frame it as an act of self-love. So I am sending you all my love, and I hope that you're having a beautiful day. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, leave me a comment. How have you dealt with toxic relationships, friendships, and ships? How have you known? What signs have you spotted? So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I am sending you all my love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.